this injury finally puts the final nail in the coffin of Brandon Staley's future. I think he's going to be fired at the end of the year. But now looking forward, if the Chargers screw up this head coach search again, hire Brandon Staley 2.0, whoever it may be, that is them shutting the window of Justin Herbert winning a Super Bowl in LA. There is no chance, if they screw up this next hire and get it wrong again, there is no chance Justin Herbert is winning a Super Bowl with the Chargers. Look, he's still young, he's 25, but here is why this head coaching hire is so important and why, if they get it wrong, it's over in terms of hoping that Herbert brings you a ring with the Chargers. Let's just go down the path here. If the Chargers swing and miss on their next head coach, most likely he will be fired, whoever it may be, after about 3 years, right? That's what Brandon Staley got. The Spanos family, they are usually slow on the trigger, so they're not going to, it's not going to be Nathaniel Hackett with the Broncos or Frank Reich with the Panthers, where it's one and done. In Reich's case, 11 games and done. It's not going to be that fast. So they swing and miss on a head coach. Bare minimum, it's going to be 3 years before they go back into the head coach hopper, if you will, to try to find the right fit for Herbert. Well, by that point, 3 years from now, we're talking about Herbert approaching age 30 in the meat of that contract extension, which means it's tough to then add players to a roster when a quarterback is making so much money, as we're seeing right now with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They got no receivers, in part because Mahomes' contract is massive. So you're going to be right in the meat of Herbert's contract extension for a quarterback that's nearing 30, with a roster, by the way, that's aging in the wrong way. They got some big-time players that are approaching the wrong side of 30. So you're going to have to turn that roster over probably again by the time you have to hire a new head coach. By that point, Herbert now approaching age 30, into the meat of his contract, needing to fill a lot of holes, I don't see how even 3 or 4 years from now, if you have to restart again, how you are going to think and expect that Justin Herbert and the Chargers are going to be Super Bowl contenders, at least in LA again. I don't see it. That is why this head coaching hire is massive for the Chargers. I think one of the biggest ones we've seen in recent NFL history. It's rare that you get a top quarterback entering the prime of his career having that job open up. Right? You never really see it, right? The Chiefs' job of Patrick Mahomes didn't just open up. Anytime you have a great quarterback, for the most part, that head coach is locked in there. So now you have a quarterback in Justin Herbert, who is 25 years old, about to really enter the prime of his career. There's going to be a lot of attractive names and a lot of big-time names going after that job and trying to become the next Chargers head coach. So you're going to get, I think, a lot of talent if you're LA. You're going to get a lot of big-time names because you are, I think, the most attractive job of any that's going to open up. More than the Bills, more than Commanders, etc. That is going to be primo, number one in terms of any head coach that's worth any salt in the league. That's going to be their number one target. So you're going to get a lot of good interest. But it's not a slam dunk, and that's why this head coaching search is so important. It is a tough spot to go. Yes, you have quarterback taken care of in Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league at age 25. Check, boom. The toughest position in the NFL has been figured out. Okay, boom, let's move on now to the rest of the roster. But that's the problem. Well, you have the most difficult position in sports to find. You have that part figured out. You have a lot of other holes you're going to have to fix. Now, you look at just this offense alone. Keenan Allen, he's going to be 32 years old next year. Only on the decline of his career. Mike Williams, guy's always hurt, can't stay healthy. Quinn Johnston, oof. I don't want to say the B word, but so far through the first 14 weeks, he's looking like a bust. Austin Eckler feels all but gone with how, number one, the contract extension tension, if you will, that came about him wanting a new deal and the Chargers not giving it to him in this offseason and then having him just one of the worst years of his career. Him not really bouncing back and not giving the Chargers a reason to sign him again, he feels like he's going out the door. So if you are a head coach right now, or I should say a coach interested in this head coach opening in LA, you got Herbert, but you have a wide receiving core that's old and banged up. You got no running back whatsoever. So you're going to have to really here start from scratch. Also, by the way, you're inheriting a defense with some big names on it, but no production whatsoever. It's one of the worst defenses in the league. So despite the fact you have Derwin James and Khalil Mack, you have some big-time names, zero production. So this is an undertaking here. For a head coach, it's going to be a lot of work. It's not as simple as plug and play. A smart offensive-minded head coach comes in, all of a sudden now the Chargers this time next year are in the Super Bowl conversation. No. It's way tougher than that. This is a tough job. It's a tough job, but if you are LA, you get the right coach, I think things can take off immediately. And that is why if I'm the Chargers, I'm looking at this head coaching search that's, I think, inevitably coming up. I'm not taking a chance. I'm not taking a chance on a first-year head coach. I'm not taking a chance on a coordinator like offensive coordinator for the Lions, Ben Johnson. Big name. Going to be, the top of everyone with the head coach openings list. He could be a great head coach. He could be the next Mike McDaniel. Could be the next Kyle Shanahan. Could be the next Sean McVay. But he also could be a bust. Also could be the next Josh McDaniels. I have no idea. And if you're the Chargers, how important this next head coach hire is, I don't want to find out. I don't want to run the risk that he is more Josh McDaniels than Sean McVay. I am going after, if I'm the Chargers, known commodities only. Meaning, this offseason, I'm giving a call to my crosstown rival, the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay, flirted with retirement. Maybe was thinking about taking a TV job. Give him an offer he can't refuse. See how he lights up, getting the opportunity to work with the 25-year-old franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. Call Kyle Shanahan. See if you can entice him to come a little bit further south in California. Call Brian Daboll. You watched last night. Brian Daboll can make magic not only with Josh Allen, great quarterbacks, but can make Daniel Jones look good, and now is making Tommy DeVito the star of the NFL right now over the last month. Brian Daboll can make magic with almost any quarterback. I'd take him out west. If I'm the Chargers, I would love for him to come over here and make Herbert even better. Shane Steichen, look what he's doing with Gardner Minshew and this Colts team, having them still in the playoffs despite the fact that their first-round rookie, Anthony Richardson, this year started and finished just one game this season. They're still in a playoff spot. And having production from a backup quarterback in Gardner Minshew, I'm giving him a call. I am going for known commodities. I am not taking any chance of swinging and missing here. I need names that I know can produce. And if those 4 head coaches and or those 4 teams, no matter what you do, offer picks, offer players, I'm going all in if I'm the Chargers. And calling the 49ers, Rams, Giants, Colts. What can I do to get your head coach? What will it take in terms of picks and players to pry your guy and have him come over to my team? If you get rebuffed, Rams say no way in hell, there's no offer we would take. 49ers say the same thing. Giants slam the phone on you. Colts don't even pick it up. You call Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, who's a proven winner everywhere he goes, who's an offensive mind, who knows how to work with quarterbacks, who wants power, but with that power does great things in terms of winning. I'm giving him a call, and I'm giving him an offer he can't refuse. I think Harbaugh is desperate to go back to the NFL. That's a job he would absolutely run to. He would run to it. And he's crazy enough where I think he literally would run from Ann Arbor, Michigan to LA to take that job and work with Justin Herbert. So if you're the Chargers, those are the 5 names. That's it. I'm going known commodity. I'm going elite mind, and I'm doing whatever it takes to make sure this head coach hire is a hit. Because a miss, I think, is detrimental to this team and detrimental to their future in terms of winning a Super Bowl with Justin Herbert. You only delay right now, and you swing and miss on this next head coach. You delay his growth. You delay any sort of chance of competing for a Super Bowl. You kick now or take at least 3 more years off of his peak, off of his prime, wasted away with another bad head coach you took a chance on. The time, like, with Brandon Staley and even a little bit with Anthony Lynn, wasting time for the Chargers with Herbert, it's done. You've wasted 4 years now. He's produced no matter what, and you have 1 playoff appearance to show for it. 0 playoff wins. What are we doing? The time for patience, the time to look around and say, oh, could this work? Maybe this could be the guy. The waiting is over. You have to capitalize now. The desperation level for the Chargers has to be through the roof. Through the roof. And that's why I'm going big game hunting. You're going to get, if you're the Chargers, a lot of interest. Because I think, again, that's going to be the most attractive job. I think coaches would rather work and coach Justin Herbert more than Josh Allen, with Josh Allen's reckless style of play and maybe his limited prime, just with how much he gets banged around. Not to mention, he was taken in, 2018? Herbert was taken in 2020, so you get a little bit of a younger feel with Herbert compared to Allen. So there's not a job, unless Andy Reid shockingly retires. Zach Taylor decides, I want to be a minister. I'm going to leave for the church. There is not a job. John Harbaugh decides, you know what? I hate football. Or you know what? Jim Harbaugh's going to the Chargers. I'm going to take the Michigan job, and I'm going to keep the Harbaugh name in Ann Arbor. Unless one of those three coaches leave, shockingly, there is no head coach opening more attractive than the inevitable one that we're going to see at the Chargers here open up in a few weeks. And I think no team, even in the last few years, if you want to even go back, forget about this coaching cycle. Go back the last 5-10 years. No team has more pressure to get it right because of what they have at quarterback and how much time they wasted already with Justin Herbert, this year being, again, the latest example of a team under 500 with one of the best quarterbacks in the league on your roster. What are we doing? The time for playing games, the time for playing it safe if you're LA is over. If you want to win a Super Bowl with Justin Herbert on your team in LA with the Chargers, the time to get serious is right now. And that starts with hiring a legit offensive-minded head coach. And that starts with calling the Rams, calling the 49ers, calling the Giants, calling the Colts. Getting their head coach on your team. If they say no, you call Jim Harbaugh and say, Jim, welcome back to the NFL.